Good evening and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. And as always, we're back with another massive show to bring you guys this evening. But before we jump into that, please do smash a like on the video. Let's try and see 300 likes on today's video. And please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner, if this is your first time watching the show tonight. So tonight we've got lots to get into. We're going to be talking about what's going to happen with Raphael Varane, potentially a move to Bayern Munich that's being discussed today. We'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about a blow for a Brazilian midfielder who Manchester United were attempting to sign that looks set to be going to another club. And we'll also be talking about Anthony Martial, about whether he might potentially be leaving to go somewhere else. Lots and lots of other bits to get into on the show this evening. Do get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on everything we discuss on today's show. Let me know what you guys are saying. And let's jump straight on into it. So let's start the show off with this story about Raphael Varane, because this one came as a little bit of a surprise. Obviously, there's been this Varane to Saudi story that's been floating around the media for what it feels like ages, doesn't it? First of all, I want you guys to let me know in the comment section what you would do with Raphael Varane. Do you think Manchester United should be keeping him? Do you think we should be selling him? Let me know what your thoughts are. Drop a comment below and let me know what you guys have to say. But in relation to today's story, now this is coming out from Florian Pletterberg, who is, of course, the Sky Sports Germany journalist. Got over 250,000 followers on Twitter. Obviously very, very reliable around the Bundesliga. And he has reported this afternoon that Bayern Munich have been informed that Raphael Varane's departure from Manchester United in January is a possibility for a fee between 17.5 million and 26.2 million. It goes on to say that a loan deal is not an option at this stage. So if anybody's wondering what exactly this means, ultimately Bayern Munich have approached Manchester United and have been given that information that if they did want to sign him in January, he would be made available and the fee would have to be somewhere between, as I said, 17.5 and 26.2 million. I mean, I think 26.2 million sounds good. I think 17 seems quite like not very much. He's only 30 years old, remember. Yes, he's injury prone. Yes, he's retired from international football because he doesn't seem to be able to keep up with the amount of games anymore. We paid 40 million euros for him 2 seasons ago. What's that in pounds? Let me do a quick conversion. 35 million pounds we paid 2 years ago. I would expect to still be getting that 26 million at least, I think 26 million for Bayern Munich would be a good deal for them. They're a big club, aren't they, Bayern? They have plenty of money. They're the best team in the Bundesliga. Obviously, they've just signed Harry Kane. The only thing that confuses me a little bit about this story is the Bayern Munich need another centre-back. Obviously, they signed Kim Min-jae in the summer. They've got De Ligt. They've got a couple of other people. I know they let Benjamin Pavard go, who was kind of a centre-back / right-back. So maybe they're looking for somebody to replace him. I'm not really too sure. I'll be honest, I don't follow the Bundesliga that much, so I don't know who starts for Bayern Munich week on week in the Bundesliga. I'm just going to have a quick look for you guys now, but it just confused me a little bit because I thought, why would Bayern Munich want to sign Raphael Varane when they've just signed Kim Min-jae, who's, let's be honest, obviously Raphael Varane is won countless Champions Leagues and all the rest of it, whereas Kim Min-jae hasn't. But I would still say that, Kim Min-jae, I think he's a lot younger and got a lot more to offer than maybe what Raphael Varane does at the moment. So it looks like at the moment their centre-back partnership is Kim Min-jae and Upamecano. And then obviously they've got De Ligt as well, who is ultimately on the bench. So I'm not sure about this story personally. I think maybe it's, one just to spread a bit of rumours to try and pick up a bit of a transfer. I just can't see it personally. The only way I could see this happening is obviously if Benjamin Pavard was his replacement. Obviously, they had Lucas Hernandez as well, who left in the summer to go to PSG. So they did sell 2 centre-backs in the summer, to be fair, and only brought in one as a replacement, Kim Min-jae. So if you look at it like that, they lost Benjamin Pavard, they lost Lucas Hernandez, and they only bought one replacement. So maybe they're looking for a replacement for one of them. I'm not really too sure. Somebody in the chat saying De Ligt is injured. Okay, there we go. That's obviously why then. Thank you for that. Honestly, I don't watch the Bundesliga that often. I watch obviously Bayern in the Champions League, but I don't watch Bundesliga very often. Welcome everybody who's just joined in the last couple of minutes though. Big ups to all of you guys. But yeah, I think if we could get 25 million for Raphael Varane, I probably would do it, to be honest. I think he's a world-class player. I think he's probably our best centre-back, but somebody who can barely play one game of football a week just isn't really going to be good enough for me going forward. And I think we do need to really, really sort out that defence. And I think that has to be Jean-Claire Todibo, really, doesn't it? It has to be him. If we could get 25 million for Varane and then you go and get Todibo for 25, 30, that's good business. You're swapping a 30-year-old player for a 23-year-old player. You're swapping a player who's at the end of his career for someone at the beginning of his career. So yeah, I would endorse this deal if it was to happen. Let me get a poll going for it though, so I can see what all of you think. So Varane, would you sell? I'm just going to set a poll up. Everybody who's just joined, please smash a like on the video if you haven't already. It really helps to bring more people into the community and into the channel. So please do go and subscribe and like the video. We've got over 150 people watching already. So if everyone likes it, it will bring more people in. Would you sell Varane for 25 million to Bayern? Right, there we go. The poll's set up, so you can now get involved in that. Let me know what you guys think. And obviously, if you're watching this back on repeat, get involved in the comment section and let me know whether you would sell Raphael Varane to Bayern Munich for £25 million in January. Let's move over to this story about the Brazilian midfielder, because this is somebody we spoke about on the show a couple of days ago, and I know quite a few of you in the chat were quite excited about this. Now, the guy's name's Andre. He plays his football in the Brazilian league. Very, very exciting young player. Plays for Fluminense in obviously in Brazil. And Manchester United were reportedly interested in this player, but it looks like Fulham are about to sign him. I mean, does that maybe... You never know, do you? I just think that the fact that he's going to go to Fulham maybe sums it up to me a little bit. Was this his agent trying to, bump up his contract? Was this his agent trying to get him a bigger move? Because going from being linked to Manchester United to ending up at Fulham, it's not really the same level, is it? Let's be honest. But anyway, let's read out the story for you. It says, Fulham are now expected to complete the signing of Fluminense midfielder Andre for €30 million in the coming days. It says the only chance of the deal collapsing is if someone comes up with a bigger bid. Manchester United are also interested and could arrive with more money. So there's still the potential that United come in and try and hijack this deal. Liverpool are reportedly interested as well, but it looks like Fulham are the ones leading the race. I just think that if Manchester United really wanted this player, they'd go and get him. €30 million is what, about £25 million? It's not a lot of money. And if we get beaten to it by Fulham, I think that it was because Fulham wanted him and we simply didn't. I don't think we're going to, be outbid by Fulham or I just don't think that's going to happen personally. No disrespect to Fulham, but it's just not the same level, is it? Right, let's but yeah, let me know what you guys think about that one. Do you think we need a midfielder in the January window? Let me know what your thoughts. The Unlimited says, Kieran, do you think Shaw will start against Everton? Apparently he'll be back in the squad. Whether he'll start or not, I don't think he'll start personally. I think he'll be on the bench. I would expect Luke Shaw to be starting again in the next couple of weeks. I think it would be too much for him to start against Everton on Sunday. I think it's too soon. He is back in training. He is obviously supposedly available to be on the bench. I wouldn't start him though. I think it's too much of a risk. He's been out for 2 or 3 months now. He's one of our most important players, Luke Shaw. He's our best left back. I think we need to slowly bring him back in. It's going to be a difficult game against Everton on Sunday anyway, isn't it? So I don't know. But let me know what you guys think. Would you start Luke Shaw even though he's only just come back from injury? Richie says Todibo is 50 million, Fabrizio said earlier, but the question is, will they sell in January? I mean, 50 million euros. I assume that's euros, right? I mean, that's 44 million pounds. That's a lot of money. I'm not entirely sold on that, to be honest with you. I think 44 million pounds is a hell of a lot of money for somebody who is 23 years of age, hasn't really won anything in his career, is playing his football at Nice, who, let's be honest, other than this season, we're finishing mid-table, has only just got into the French national team in the last kind of couple of weeks at the age of 23. He's not on the level of someone like Saliba, is he? Clearly. I mean, how much did they pay for Saliba? A lot less than that. Saliba's 22 years of age. Arsenal signed Saliba for... Where did they sign him? Arsenal signed Saliba for 30 million euros. And we're supposedly going to pay 50 million euros for Jean-Claire Todibo. I don't know. We'll wait and see. Obviously, any player that comes to Manchester United, I will support and I will back. But I think 50 million is a little bit too much for me. But it's not my money. If Manchester United can find the money to do that, and that's what they want to do, then obviously we just have to get behind it, don't we? But I don't think that's a particularly strong deal as your first deal as the Manchester United owner, because I think 50 million is more than what the market value is for him personally. I would say somewhere around 30 to 40 million for Jean-Claude Todibo is a fair price. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. How much would you say is a fair price for Todibo? What's the max amount of money you guys would do? Let's talk a little bit about Anthony Martial as well, because I saw some stuff earlier on that Fabrizio Romano was saying, and he said that there are clubs interested in signing Anthony Martial. He says a January deal could be possible, which could influence/depend on numerous striker moves across Europe. I mean, if we can get some money for Anthony Martial, I think you 150% go and do that, don't you? His contract's up in the summer. You know, if you could get 5 million even for Martial in January, and then you could reinvest that money in another striker, whether it's Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord, whether it's Taremi from Porto on a short-term deal, maybe even Antoine Griezmann, I don't know. There are players available out there in the striker market for around 20 to 30 million pounds. If we could, get around 5 million for Martial, plus clear his £250,000 a week wages, like, you can already see where the money to do that deal would come from. So hopefully this materialises. Martial was someone who I really, really liked at Manchester United. He was one of my favourite players when he first came for the first couple of seasons, but he's completely fell off. Obviously, he's injury prone now. He can barely... I mean, he hasn't got injured this season, funnily enough, but Erik ten Hag just clearly doesn't want to play him. So there's no point keeping him on the bench as an option that we're not even going to use. He comes on for 5 minutes at the end of a match when we're either winning or chasing a game and he doesn't do anything. So I just think if we can get the money for Martial, you've got to let him go. But let me know what you guys think about Martial in the comment section below. Do you think he should go? Do you think he should stay? How much do you think would be a fair price? But please do consider that he's only got 6 months left on his contract. His contract is up in June. So in June, he'll be able to go to any club around the world for nothing, because Manchester United will no longer be his official club. So that's something worth bearing in mind. Right, just a quick one about John Murta as well I wanted to bring into the show. So the headline this afternoon is that Manchester United are planning to replace John Murta. It goes on to say, a well-placed source says that Murta is 100% going. This is coming from Samuel Luckhurst, who of course reports for the Manchester Evening News. Obviously, we're expecting John Murta to go, Paul Mitchell to come in. Richard Arnold's already left or is in the brink of leaving, and hopefully he's going to be replaced by Jean-Claude Blanc. So that will make up the kind of executive top management company at Manchester United. It will be Sir Dave Brailsford, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, obviously the Ineos team, Paul Mitchell as director of football, and Jean-Claude Blanc as the CEO. So it's going to be a whole new look in the sporting side of things. The commercial side of things will remain the same, but I don't really have any complaints about the commercial side. We've got the biggest kit sponsorship deal in world football. We've got the biggest kit manufacturing deal with Adidas in world football. So from a commercial side, everybody knows that the Glazers have done a good job. But from a sporting side, we've been absolutely terrible. So hopefully this, does bring in the change we need. And hopefully this allows Manchester United to start to excel on the sporting side of things, opposed to just be excelling on the financial and business side of things. Because imagine how... Imagine the level we could go to, right? If we were starting to win trophies again, if we were winning Premier Leagues, if we were winning Champions Leagues, like our commercial brand would go to a whole new level. It would. At the moment, we're just stagnated. Yes, we're still making lots of money. Yes, we're still, getting big sponsorship deals in. But imagine if we were at the front of football again, competing with the Man Cities, competing with the Real Madrids, the Bayern Munichs. Instead, we're down in kind of mid-table, and I assume that makes us a less attracting watch, but let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think that this new management team of Sir Dave, Jim Ratcliffe, Dave Brailsford, Ineos, all the rest of it, do you think it's going to make a big difference or not? Carl says, what do you think about Martial to Nice and Todibo to Manchester United? I mean, I like the sound of that. I do. I think Martial would do well at Nice. Obviously, he's French, isn't he? I think he started his career at Monaco. I think that'd be a good move for him. I don't know who Nice have in the attacking positions, but yeah, I think I like the sound of that. Would that be a deal that Jim Ratcliffe would want to do? Potentially. I think it could work for everybody. Nice have some okay players, but I think Anthony Martial would definitely get into their first team. I think he would definitely bolster their options going into the end of the season, where we are expecting Nice to be... I mean, at the moment, they're near the top of the table. Are they going to get top four? I mean, that's a strong possibility. That's the question that we have to ask ourselves, with this Jean-Claude Todibo deal. Why would Nice sell him now when they could potentially get top four or even win the French league, some people are saying? I don't think they will personally, But obviously that is a possibility that you have to consider because they are right. I think they're in second. Yeah, they're second place at the moment. 1 point behind PSG. And they are currently 6 points clear in the top 4. So they're in a strong position. Obviously, it's only been 12 games. It's a 38-game season. They've still got, another 26 games to play. So I'm not really going to judge how they got on until the end of the season. William says, if Martial got sold, we would all be watching his medical thinking, please pass it. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be so difficult, isn't it? Like, 6 months left on his contract. I would imagine that Martial's probably sat there saying, I may as well wait to the summer. I may as well see who I can go to on a free agent. He'll get paid a massive signing on fee. So yeah. Joshua says Nice have Mofi, Brahimi, Pepe, and Laborde. Yeah, they got Nicolas Pepe, don't they? Yeah, they've got some good people, but I do think Martial would get into their squad. So yeah, I think that was an interesting take from somebody in the chat earlier on. The Unlimited says Paul Mitchell has a massive job with this wage budget as well as standards to get us back to our beautiful game. Yeah, I mean, it's a very difficult job for Paul Mitchell. It's a difficult job for all of them, let's be honest. Michael says Paul Pogba must regret not signing that Man United contract now. Career is over, and that after that second positive drug test, will be banned between 2 to 4 years from all football activities. Yeah, I mean, you think what could have been? Imagine if we'd have kept Paul Pogba, given him some ridiculous contract on probably 200-300 grand a week, and then he'd have got banned for, I think it's doping or something. He's failed some sort of drug test or something, hasn't he? Allegedly. And he's, as somebody says in the chat, he's going to be banned for around 2 years. I mean, that's crazy. He's what, 31, 32 now? Is that right? No, he's 30. He's 31 in a couple of months, but still, he's old. By the time he's back playing football, he's going to be 32, 33. Like, it's really, really bad, isn't it? I don't know whether he'll still be being paid for playing for Juventus. I assume not, but I don't know the ins and outs of how it works if somebody fails a drug test. Obviously, we've got football coming back this weekend, guys, which I'm super, super excited about. We've got this massive game against Everton on Sunday. We are expecting to have confirmation on Jim Ratcliffe's 25% stake by then. The headline this afternoon is that Jim Ratcliffe's 25% stake in Manchester United is a done deal. It says Ineos are aware that the club need an enormous amount of work internally. So we are just waiting for the official announcement, expecting it to be either today or tomorrow. Apparently before Thanksgiving, which I believe is on Thursday in America, obviously. So yeah, we should get that story either Tuesday or Wednesday. When we'll get this interview with Jim and the Ineos team, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see about that one. But let me know how you're all feeling about this. I'm just excited for football to start again. I hate the international break. I've got zero interest in international football, to be honest with you. I like the Euros. I like the World Cup, but the qualifiers, they're just boring. It's just not interesting. When you see France beating, was it Gibraltar 14-0? Like, it's just not competitive. I think Man United were playing Malta. It's not, sorry, not Man United, England. It's just not entertaining for me personally, and I don't really enjoy it. So really excited to see proper football, let's call it, back this weekend. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I will be back live tomorrow morning about 8:30, 9 a.m. UK time. So do make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell on your way out. Please do smash a like on the video before you go as well. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a lovely evening, morning, or day, wherever you are in the world, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow morning.